Just 8 days left until the biggest piece of evidence in one of the biggest murder trials of the decade is no more. I'm talking about the house on King Road in Moscow, Idaho, where 4 university students were brutally murdered in November of 2022. In 8 short days, that house is going to come down by order of the university that owns it, and with the consent of the state as well as Brian Koberger's defense team. But as you may know, most of the victims' families are fiercely opposed to that house coming down. And tonight,
What's up, guys? True Crime King back. Alright, so as you just heard, on December 28th, 8 days, this piece of evidence, as far as I'm concerned, is going to be demolished. 1122 King Road. And if you were paying attention, as you just heard, with consent from the defense team, okay, so Brian Koberger's own attorneys have given the okay to demolish King Road. The only opposition to demolishing this is the victims' families and the prosecution, right? So, I hear people saying, oh, they want to demolish it to get rid of evidence and all this crap. Give me a break. The victims' families don't want it demolished. Koberger and his attorneys want it to be demolished. Hello? You know what I mean? Me personally, I think it should stay up until after the trial is concluded. I think that if I was on one of the jurors for this Koberger case, I would want to go through this house and see the house exactly like it was. You know, because I would like to see all the evidence, and then go there myself and see, hey, does this line up? When Dylan looked out her door, does this line up? Could she have saw Koberger walk and they made eye contact and all kinds of stuff, and see, hey, and double check everything, right? Because the guy's life is on the line, right? But it's kind of suspicious. You would think, hey, if I was innocent, I wouldn't want it to be demolished, right? I would want the jurors to see it as well, right? But you just heard, Koberger and his defense team don't mind if it's demolished. They're not contesting it. And I don't want anybody saying, oh, it's only because you're watching News Nation. Shut up. You can go to any one of these sites and find the same information with consent from Brian Koberger and his attorneys. Okay. So don't even start that crap about it. Oh, it's just Banfield and News Nation. Okay, because you're just stupid if that's what you're doing. The only reason I'm even using this video is reacting to this is because it's just conveniently came up, and I saw and I wanted to react to it. So that's it.
Attorney for the Gonzalez and the Mogan families says there still might be a way to stop it. Kernodle families are also part of that. That attorney says a civil suit, one that would also claim the King Road house as evidence in a civil case. Well, that might pave the way for an injunction to preserve the house. Months ago, the family's attorney, Shannon Gray, filed what is essentially a placeholder that reserves the right to sue various parties over the horrors that took place in that house. He says the only thing stopping a suit like that going forward is what stops a lot of litigation. It's expensive, and money doesn't grow on trees. It takes a lot of money to fight that kind of action against a massive opponent like the University of Idaho. And if you think that the families raked in a whole bunch of money from their GoFundMe pages, they didn't. We checked it, and there's only 3 of them that exist. The grand total for all 3 families with the GoFundMes is less than $200,000. So unless some kind of big investor or fund ponies up, the chance.
So 200,000 for all of the victims' families combined, right? Okay, yeah, that sounds like it's a decent amount of money, right? But I mean, these lawyer fees for this trial are going to be, I mean, I can only imagine there will be at least 100,000, right? So then you got the 100,000 and divide that by 3, okay? So it's not that much money, and then they would have to pay all those lawyer fees to do another suit, civil suit, to try and stop it from being demolished. I mean, is it really worth them paying all that money? That's for them to decide, right? You know, if this was me and it happened to, you know, let's say I had a daughter or a son, and this happened, I honestly don't know what I would do. You know, I guess I would have to see exactly what the expenses are, exactly what, you know, what it would cost, and all that good stuff, right? But I can tell you that if they can do it, and you know, and there's a way, if there's a, you know, a reasonable way to keep this building standing until the trial's over, which we just heard the only real way is for them to file a civil suit. It's a tough one, right?
Of the Idaho house being saved is likely just talk. One place where it is being talked about, though, is the University of Idaho Murders case discussion group. It's one of the biggest true crime pages on Facebook with about 227,000 members. And Christine Cameron and Alina Smith are the administrators, and they are kind enough to be here with me live. It's nice to see both of you again. Thank you for being on. Christine, let me start with you. What are the folks in the case discussion group page saying about this issue?
So real quick, there's going to be some people out there that say, oh, these 2 people from this case discussion group, these admins, are biased in some way. I mean, there's always some crazy people out there that no matter what are gonna think that there's some kind of dumb, you know, conspiracy theory going on. Give me a break. There's a gag order. These guys, they're administrators for a freaking Facebook group, okay?
Good evening, Ashley. Thanks for having us. So a lot of people are talking about whether the house should be demolished or not. And you know, when you have a question of this magnitude, of course you're going to have people on, you know, both sides of this argument, and you know, both sides are compelling. Some say, you know, the prosecution and the defense have gotten what they need, so it should go ahead and be demolished. Others empathize with the college kids and feel that this is awful for the students who attend the university. You know, they are having to go in and day out and see that painful, constant reminder of that tragic event, and so it needs to go. Others feel that the focus shouldn't be about the university or the college kids there, but instead should be on justice.
That's where I fall in line. I mean, really? I mean, so some of these kids are really that horrified that they have to see the house. I mean, give me a break, you know? I mean, if people have lost their lives there, and we want the right person convicted, and we want the jurors to see all the evidence as it was, right? I mean, they've been looking at it for over a year. I don't think a couple more months until the trial's over is going to traumatize anybody. You know what I mean? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. But I want to get it on record. I am for keeping the house standing until after the trial is over. That is my position, and I am not going to waver. I never waver, as you guys know.
And these people want the house to stay because even if there is that minute possibility of Koberger potentially getting away with this because evidence was destroyed, it should stay. And there is a real
Yeah, I mean, I don't want any excuse at all for somebody to say, "Oh, the house was destroyed, and there was evidence that could have exonerated Koberger." I don't want any of that bullshit coming up, because when Koberger it does get convicted, this way there will be zero, okay? You guys want these people that think Koberger is so innocent, which baffles me. How you guys can be so sure that Koberger is innocent? It's just mind-boggling, right? I mean, his DNA is underneath the dead body. His DNA shouldn't be in the house at all, okay? He said out of his own mouth he's never been in that house, okay? And it's just ridiculous. And then, in the same breath, you got people saying that Dylan and Bethany are guilty. You know what I mean? How stupid is that, really?
fear that Koberger could get away with this. So for me personally, I think about other high-profile crimes where the juries have been able to go to the scene of the crime. It doesn't happen often, but I'm thinking, O.J. Simpson, the Murdoch murders, the Parkland, Florida school shooting. The juries went to these locations, and this is a high-profile case, and it has garnered worldwide attention.
Murdoch was just, a few months ago, several months ago, but...
Yeah. People thought Murdoch was innocent, too, just like there's going to be people on both sides until the verdict comes down. But there was people saying that Murdoch was innocent until he wasn't, right? And then all of a sudden they disappeared, right? I mean, give me a break.
But there was a jury visit in that as well, and we should just remind everybody that...
And then O.J. Simpson got, found not guilty, right? Is there really anybody watching this that thinks O.J. did not commit that crime? If you think O.J. was innocent, please put down in the comments and say that you really think O.J. did not kill his wife. I just want to see how many of you there are.
That Koberger, while there is very compelling evidence, and we don't even know the half of it yet, he is still innocent until proven guilty. So, Alina, let me ask you this. Have the members at all, and I have to be quick here, but have the members at all talked about raising money to help in this legal effort and to help the families mount a civil case?
Hi, Ashley. We did have one member that suggested to maybe raise money for like a loss, like a conjecture or something, like to help raise the money for all of the families to kind of put a stop to it. We do know that one of the families did kind of put something into effect called a tort several months ago, I think in May, which kind of allows them to hold something in place for a civil case. But really, they all need to gather together and put something into effect. And something was presented on our page today by a member, and they said, hey, you know what, if everybody wants to raise money, we're all here for it, and let's put something into effect. And
they've got 8 days.
Yeah, if you guys want to see this building stay standing, I suggest you go to these guys' page, their discussion page, and see if they're taking donations for the family. That's really the only way it's going to stay standing, is if they raise enough money to be able to file a civil suit, right? And once again, we know that Koberger and his attorneys have signed off. They want it to be demolished, okay? That's a fact. That's not me just saying this. That is fact, okay? And somebody commented and said, "Oh, the FBI does have a good record." You're right, but they're not the ones prosecuting this case. Yeah, no shit, they're not the ones prosecuting this case, but they helped out in every facet of this case and gave their opinions and gave all their technology. And trust me, they might not be the ones actually taking it to court, but they're certain Koberger is the man, or else they would still be looking for somebody. So, with the evidence I've seen and me knowing what the FBI's record is, I'm pretty confident Koberger is going to be convicted, and I'm pretty confident that what I've been saying this whole time is totally true, because I use common sense, think for myself, okay? And let me ask you guys another question. What kind of YouTuber would go after and actually talk crap about one of these victims' families, right? I mean, Steve Gonzalez just lost his daughter, and you got this dumb YouTuber, which you all know who it is, going after this family, the Gonzalez family. What a piece of shit. I mean, give me a break. Anyway, just wanted to update you guys on the house demolition. So it looks like right now it's going to be demolished on the 28th unless the families can raise enough money to file a civil suit. So that's where it stands. Hope you guys have a great Christmas. And if I don't see you before New Year's, have a good New Year's. Until next time, True Crime King, out.